Ande Smith. So, Andy, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Yeah, thanks, Howie. It's great to be with you here. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
He's running against the incumbent Shelley Pingree, who was in.
That's a boo if you can't hear it.
Who was in the midst of domestic turmoil. Her husband, who has a private jet that he used to fly Barney Frank and his boyfriend around on during the holidays. He's now they're getting a divorce, and I checked the FEC reports the other day, and Bruce Sussman is no longer giving large sums of money.
Donald Sussman.
Donald Sussman. Sorry, Donald Sussman. Apologies to anyone in the world named Bruce. Donald Sussman is no longer giving large sums of money to your opponent.
Well, I guess that's bad news for Shelley. I think it was, if you look at those FEC reports, we actually, in my little fledgling campaign here in 12 weeks, outraised her from individuals. And those weren't big Donald Sussmans. Those are the people in the state of Maine, large and small. That's right.
So, Andy, we've had you, so no more deep pockets for Shelley, says 413. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, so, Andy, so tell us a little something about yourself. I know you've been on the show once before, but, there are a lot of people, new listeners, people drifting in and out. You were on later in the show. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I'm born here in Maine. I have a lovely wife, 5 kids, and 3 dogs, just to keep things interesting.
Where do you live?
I live in the big town of North Yarmouth, Maine, right down near Freeport in the town of Yarmouth. I have about 30 years of military experience, Howie. 7 years on active duty as a submarine officer, and then almost 30 now, closing out my career as a reservist. In that time, thank you. Submariners don't get usually applause. We don't tell anybody what we do, so they just wonder where you were for the last 6 months or something.
Have you seen the new transgender bathrooms they're going to put on the submarines?
I think they're already there. Yeah, that's how it is. We did that for about 30 years. I had the pleasure of mobilizing for the War on Terror. Went to East Africa to try and stop Islamist extremism before it starts. Worked with USAID, State Department, and our coalition partners over there. Great experience. Worked in service to the people of New York City during Hurricane Sandy, getting military teams to come in and do support operations to get that city back up on its feet. So it's been a rich service, and I think that's the kind of perspective in this time.
What's your main job now?
Sure. Well, my main job's running against Shelley Pingree, but I own a cybersecurity consulting practice up here in Maine. I was head of information security for the U.S. operations of big multinational and brought that experience here to Maine, helping people out. And as you know, Howie, from watching the news carefully, unfortunately, business is good in that space.
Yeah, it sure is. I like your Reagan button, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the 76 Reagan
You wear that
button.
every day?
Yeah, I usually just kiss it before I go out the door, like the Notre Dame guys hitting the football on the way out, but that's right.
Well, that's great. So what is the big problem? As if I didn't know, what's the big problem with Shelley Pingree, your opponent?
Well, I think, if you looked up in the dictionary, out-of-touch Washington elitist, I think you'd see her picture staring right back at you, and that's not where the people of the state of Maine.
There's a whole book of mugshots of those people, isn't there?
I'm surprised you don't have them in one of yours over there with some of them.
I got some mugshots, just different mugshots in my books.
That's right. And, that would be okay, I guess, for her if that's the only thing she had going against her, but she is the true leftist progressive. And she is, she's out of touch with the mainstream of what Maine people are about. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, you care about spiraling out of control health care costs. You care about the education of your children. You want your family to be safe, and you don't need somebody traipsing off to Cuba to study organic farming. That's where her heart is, and that's not where the people
She's been to Cuba?
She's been apparently in the past, but she's getting ready to go again to study organic farming, Howie, because, those tropical nations got a lot to show the organic farmers here in Maine how to do business.
That's why they retrofit their 57 DeSotos so that they become seaworthy, so that they can get to Key West.
Yeah,
that's
right.
it, because organic farming is working out so splendidly for them.
Yeah, well, that's right, Howie, and I'm sure that the people in the state of Maine who've made this a significant part of our economy will benefit from what can be learned from people who grew that kind of business under a repressive totalitarian government. I'm sure they've got a lot of parallels that we can follow.
How about the fact that when LePage became governor, get ready to applaud, the unemployment rate was 8.2%. Now it's 4.7%. What has Shelley Pingree done anything to reinvigorate the Maine economy? Like getting a pipeline up here, like we could use in Massachusetts and New Hampshire as well?
Yeah,
by the way?
Some natural gas would be helpful. You know,
Yes.
I went to a event a few weeks ago that Shelley was actually at, and she came to take a victory lap where she had expanded what's called a hub zone where businesses in Maine in a certain geographic area get preferential status in bidding for federal contracts. And the zone was expanded, but as she took her victory lap, you came to find that she had to have Bruce Poliquin come down from the 2nd District to help get the job done in Congress. So I'm not entirely sure what she's done to help us out.
It's just something else. Well, listen, I hope you don't have a primary opponent, do you?
No, there is a primary
There is
opponent.
opponent.
Yep.
Okay. So you're running you're running in when's the primary?
It's on Flag Day, appropriately, so June 14th.
June 14th. Okay. And if people want to learn more about you, Andy, where should they go?
Absolutely. It's Ande for Maine. My first name's spelled ANDE like the mint, so andeformaine.com. That's FOR. And same words on Facebook and all the other social media.
Okay, Andy, so you're going to be around here. You'll be introducing yourself to everybody around anyone who doesn't know you at the convention.
Well, that's
here.
right, just like that sign says. Absolutely, Howie.
Okay.
Great to be here
Andy,
with you today.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Give Andy a big round of applause here.
Thanks a lot.